Hey guys, welcome back to the Snapper Chronicles. Today we're coming back at you with a little bit of an informative video on the subject of lubricants and lubrication of ratchets and tools in general. This is just my idea. I know there's a lot of theories and a lot of preferences out there on lubricants and how and where and how much and all that stuff. But this is just what I do and what I've found to be useful as far as lubrication and just rust rust resistance in general. Trying to keep the rust off of your tools. I don't have a big problem with rust. I don't live like near the ocean or anything. There's no salt there, or it's not very humid either. But it does show up every once in a while. But before we jump into it, if you could do me a big favor, I'm trying to reach a goal of 2,000 subscribers by the end of summer, and you guys can help me out in reaching that goal by giving me the HBO special. What's the HBO special? The HBO special, I'm glad you asked, is the Help a Brother Out special. So help a brother out, hit the like button and hit that subscribe button. And I'll give you 2 seconds to do that. You guys that hit those buttons, I really appreciate you. Okay, these are just a couple of my kind of favorite lubricants for ratchets and just tools in general. And okay, I just selected a couple of ratchets here, and I assorted the lubricants over there. These are just some of the ratchets and how you would apply some of these lubricants to these ratchets, or what you should use, in my opinion. Like I said, I'm no expert. This is just my personal preference. Okay, something like this, where it's like 86 teeth on it, has a high tooth count, very small teeth like this. This I wouldn't use in a grease. Oh, there's the paw. Oops. Oh, we'll just leave that there. Something like this with a lot of teeth, 90, 80, 100, 120, 140 teeth. I wouldn't use a super lube type grease like this. I wouldn't use. Um, it just seems too thick for those teeth that are that small. And eventually, I know this is good quality grease, but eventually it might thicken. And when you thicken it, when it gets thick and it gets into those little tiny teeth, it's gonna start skipping eventually. And some greases are made better than others. I know, like for example, the grease that they used, more Drop Forge or East Coast used in these old Craftsman, not the greatest. Years later, you open them up and it looks like someone poured Elmer's glue into them. They get, they start to get really hard. The, the the grease, and it starts to crumble and it flakes and there's like pieces. So it's really bad. It's really bad. Some of the ratchets I've seen, they have grease in them like for 40 or 50 years, and the grease, you open them up and the grease is in good shape. Not not all greases are made the same. But just to get back, don't recommend grease in these high count, high tooth ratchets. I would use a light oil, something like a 3-in-1 oil. I know it's very generic, but it works pretty good in a situation like that. And another oil that I use is Marvel Mystery Oil. And I take a little bottle and I put some in, and I have a little I keep a zip tie inside the bottle as an applicator. So I just use like a drop. I need a drop. I like using little. I don't like using a lot. I don't like sprays. You won't see any sprays here. And okay, here's another situation. Here's another ratchet. This is an SK Faycom style ratchet, and we know that the Faycom style ratchets and ratchets that were made like this, they have a pawl that that's made to slide back and forth on a metal ledge like this. Uh, I think Craftsman had a version of this. I'm not sure who made it. I think maybe Eastco made it. And like the tri prop, it had a didn't have a hard spring, but had like a similar setup with a spring and a pawl that slid back and forth on a ledge like that. And I think they used grease on that, and I think that caused a lot of problems because you find a lot of those ratchets that are stuck and they won't slide back and forth when you switch them, and they just need a good maintenance. You need to take all that grease out and put a light oil, 3-in-1 or Marvel Mystery Oil. Marvel Mystery Oil, I like it. It's pretty thin. I think it's really thin, but it also has like a cleaning quality to it. So I don't know. It comes recommended, and a lot of people like using it on tools and stuff. And I've used it, and it seems to work out pretty good. Okay, if you have something like this, an old ratchet has like 20 or 30 teeth, 40 teeth in the mechanism. Let me see if I have a gear. Here's a gear from the same ratchet, but a different one, but the same model. This is what it looks like. You got teeth as big as that. Yeah, that you can use the grease on Super Loop, and it quiets it down pretty. I kind of like it because it kind of muffles the clicks. It kind of quiets down the ratchet, and something this with teeth that big, it's not a problem to use a grease or similar. The only thing that I don't like doing, I see some people do, is they take grease and they take like an ounce of grease, they plop it on their fingers and they start packing the ratchet. Here's a Craftsman, same as that. They'll start packing it in and they put the gear in and all the grease is spilling out. That's just too much, I think, in my opinion. I don't like packing in grease that much. I like using a little bit, put it on my finger, like maybe the size of a pea, a dab, yeah, about a dab about the size of a pea, and I'll just put it in, work it in, put some on the teeth, and that should be it. It's a light coating, nothing, you don't need something crazy or to cram as much grease as you can into every crevice. This here is shout out to Scout Crafter. He turned me on to this. In here is 50/50 mineral oil and petroleum jelly. And I like this because it's kind of thicker than these, but I don't use these. You can, I guess, inside the ratchet. I like to use this as a coating to put on, to coat the ratchets as a protectant. I like it because it's safe. It's not really toxic that much. It's food grade. You can actually drink. They sell it in the pharmacy. They have mineral oil that you can drink, and Vaseline also. You can use it internally, so it's pretty much safe. I try to not to. I wear gloves. You see all the time. I try not to contact constantly chemicals and stuff. So something on this level that's pretty safe is good, and it's thick, so it lasts a while. You take a little bit, take like a drop or two, and just rub it on to the ratchet, and it does its job pretty good. For cleaning, this is what I use is WD-40. Basically, that's what I use. I like WD-40. It's cheap. It's easy to find. You can find it everywhere. You can find it in the supermarket, wherever. 7-Eleven even has it. If you're desperate for it, it's pretty much everywhere. And like I said, it's not too expensive. It's gone up a lot though in price recently in the last few years. Like a bottle, like a spray can, it's like $8 or $9 now. It used to be like, I don't know, for like $5 before. The good thing about it is if you go to garage sales and stuff and you see it, pick it up. Because usually you get like half a can or something for $1 at a garage sale. And you get a full can for like $9 at Walmart or wherever, wherever you see it. So it saves you a lot of money since it's so popular and you find it anywhere to get it like that, like used or at a garage sale. And yeah, I use it, but I don't like it sprayed. I put it in a bottle and have a pipette in here. And I use a pipette and I just put it where I need it. I don't like sprays because sprays, the aerosol fills the air and it gets everywhere the way you don't want it. So here I just put it where I need it with the pipette and let it simmer a little bit, agitate it with a pick or something, and it'll break up whatever you need, dirt, grease, or whatever, and you can just mop it out with a rag or paper or whatever. I usually have like, here's an old t-shirt I'm working on. It's, see all the grease marks and everything where I clean stuff out. So I save my old t-shirts and use them as rags for the cleanup on the tools and ratchets. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my setup as far as lubrication. Basically, I do use some other stuff rarely, once in a blue moon. There's other stuff kicking around, but for the most part, these are the 3 lubricants: the Marvel Mystery Oil, the 3-in-1 oil, and the Super Lube. The cleaner is the WD-40, and the protectant, the coating for the tools, is the 50/50 mineral oil and petroleum jelly. Alright guys, that's all I got for now. Until next time.